everyone, I have been asked to colour a page from this book. This is Colour the Forest by Lotte Forde. Now Lotte sent me this book. I say Lotte, there's no I, is there? I think it is. Anyway, she sent me this book to review, and it is book 3 in a series of hers, but you don't need the other 2 books. I didn't find that I was missing anything by not having seen the others. There's a lot of really cute pictures in here, lots of trees, leaves, that sort of thing, really cute. But I picked this picture to colour, as I've been asked. It is called Huckleberry Gnome, which is a very cute name. Look at him. He does look a bit Huckleberry finish, which is what I assume the name is coming from. Just going to tuck my book under my pencils. I think I'm going to need to do that. And it's going to take me a little while to colour it. You can see there are a few really small details. A lot of the pages have really tiny details. So I picked this one because it was a little bit bigger. So I thought it'd be a little bit easier to colour as a sort of video project. I'm actually going to start with the border, which is why I haven't come in too close. Now these flowers and leaves are really quite teeny tiny. So I thought that I would do them, I'm just going to sort of block them in. Now we've got a big mix of lots of flowers, lots of leaves, vines. I'm just going to start with the vines, I think, while I'm nattering, and see where we go. I've got my Staedtler Design Journey pencils because they sharpen to a nice point. This is number 5, which is the green. I'm just going to work my way around the vine and chatter as I go. So I'm not doing anything too difficult. Just colouring in the vine, just trying to make sure we've got a fairly solid colour. I have put a couple of pieces of paper behind here just to cushion the book and make sure that I don't press into the page below. I always do that anyway with all colouring, unless I'm doing I don't tend to do it in my planner, actually. A thicker paged book, which is single-sided, you can get away with it a little bit. But this is Amazon paper, so it's fairly thin, and I find it thick enough to colour on. I know some people have a problem with it, and it does vary. You know, Amazon don't always print on exactly the same paper, depends where you're from. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil and that sort of thing. I'm not even sure. Look, this is printed in Poland, so it's very different paper to if you had sort of ordered it from UK or US Amazon. I find US Amazon paper is often more toothy, i.e. rough. In fact, talking of toothy paper, my husband gave me some to colour on last night. He printed out, he has a couple of free colouring sheets on his Ko-fi, and he wanted to put some examples of them coloured up on his on the Ko-fi to just show people. And he said, I printed out on some quite toothy paper for you. I thought you'd really like it. I was like, anyway, it's like watercolour paper, you know. I said, oh, I'm not really keen on it. He said, oh, it's fine, it's not that bad. So I grabbed some cheap pencils. After feeling it, it felt really sandpapery. So I decided to use some cheap pencils because obviously a really sandpapery paper is going to wear your pencils down really quickly. You can imagine if you're colouring on something really smooth compared to a piece of sandpaper, let's just take that in the literal sense, it's going to wear down the pencil differently. So I used my Arteza Premiums. Now I've had them for ages, and all my greens are about this long. So I'm sort of trying to use up the longer colours. My pinks and oranges, peaches are all really long compared to the greens. There's quite a few longer blues as well, just because there's a big range of blues. Anyway, so I thought I'd just use those, and I did it really quickly. I've coloured the page before, and quite recently. Now I don't know about you, but if I've recently coloured a page, I'm not really that keen on doing it again that quickly. So I did it quite fast. and he went off upstairs to do some prep for work today, and came back down and went, "Oh, you did that quick." I was like, "Yeah." But I only did like one really quick layer, so I was just going really fast. It was quite relaxing actually, to be honest. I did like the sheet. Is quite fun. It's there isn't really a picture, it's just a pattern, so you can really do anything you want. It's a great one for swatching pencils, or just, you know, as I say, just relaxing sort of. And you can try out different techniques, blends, that sort of thing. I've done that. I did that on the first time I did it, used it. I tried out some different pencil blends and things like that. So, you know, it's a fun one for that. But it isn't a picture, so there's nothing cute, or there's no story, or, you know, something to get involved in, which I do like as well. Well, probably a bit more, you know, but it was fine. And you know, he's just trying to promote his stuff a little bit, so I want to help him, because you know, it's nice to encourage. He's always very encouraging of me, like saying things like, "Go on, you know, you want some more pencils." I'm like, "Yeah, but have you ever counted how many I've got?" But I was really wanting the new chroma flows, but having had a look in detail at what's available in the new set and which colours I like the best, I'm like, no, actually, I think I'm just going to hold out and use up some of what I've got, because I've got so many pencils already. Oh, I've got cramp in my leg. I've been getting a crampy sort of side of my knee. It's really strange, but anyway, it's not too. If I move my position, it goes away, so it's certainly not at all serious. Anyway, yes, I've got plenty of pencils to be going on with, and I'm going to run out of space to store them anyway, so in a practical sense I need to sort of tighten down a bit, as well as the fact that you can only use one pencil at a time. Have you noticed this? You can use more than one set on one picture, but you can only pick up one at a time, unless you're ambidextrous and have great coordination. What if anyone's tried that? Who's tried using two at once? It would speed up the process, wouldn't it? I'm not ambidextrous, and so I could probably, and I'm also, my coordination is terrible. I remember trying to learn the piano, and I could do the right hand and I could do the left hand, but trying to put them together, oh my, so hard. I mean, I guess, I don't know whether it's something that some people are better at than others, or whether it's just something that we have to always practice. I mean, obviously practice is always going to help anyway, but I mean, is it something that some people can just do? I don't know. But anyway, I just found it so difficult, you know. I could manage it like playing the recorder and having to move your hands around to get different notes, but it wasn't quite the same thing. I mean, if you're trying to play different rhythm with different fingers, it's like drummers. My brother-in-law used to play the drums a lot. I don't think he plays it so much anymore. He used to be in a band, and in fact more than one band. Anyway, he you know, I can't imagine how he could, you know, hit one drum with one hand stick and one rhythm, and do a different rhythm with a different hand, and then something with a foot, and I was like, my God, how on earth do you do that? But maybe it is just a matter of practice, I don't know. Now we go from one extreme to the other on this page. I'm using number 52, and I'm going to do all the little leaves all around here, where these leaves are tiny, so we could do a little bit of shading, colour changing, that sort of thing in them, but I'm actually just going to keep them really simple and the same colour. But at the top of here we've got some really big leaves, so we've got a completely different technique to trying to fill up that whole leaf with lots of pencil. So that's going to be interesting to do, and especially with these harder pencils, but we'll get there. But it's going to take a few videos. I'm not quite sure how long I was going to spend on each one. I think I'm going to make sure that it doesn't get too long, you know, because I'm doing the same thing and just nattering at the minute. It's not very exciting, is it? And I can imagine that quite a few of you are probably not colouring along. It's not like this is the most popular book in the world, but perhaps some of you have another book by her that you can have a go at, or any other book colouring along, you know, something with leaves and flowers, water, you know, a pond or something. I don't know, you could do something similar. I'm sure there's something here to have a go at. And I know some of you don't always colour along and just listen. That's fine. I don't ever stop talking, do I? I actually find that it's quite funny because I talk a lot all the time. It's good practice. And when it comes to after I've had a day making quite a few videos, I go quite quiet. My husband's like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just a bit talked out." And then he nearly faints on the floor. How can he be talked out? It's not like you. Anyway, it's a good day today. It's not too hot, it's cloudy, it's dry, but I think we'll forecast some thunderstorms later, but I don't know what the percentage chance is, you know, whether we will get them, but I like a good thunderstorm. Not sure what that is. I think I'm just going to ignore it. I think it's just a tendril. So that's that. And I've been out for a walk. Both my boys are home today. Husband's at work. Last night he said he was actually looking forward to work for the first time in months. And I said, that's because you're not there all the time. You're having some time off, you know. So that's good. And he's really hoping he doesn't have to up his hours, you know. But we'll see what happens. I think he really just needs a big break and a rest. And, you know, I reckon that now he's doing 3 days a week, he's probably doing sort of 4 days work in those 3 days. He does work a bit of overtime each night, unpaid, to make sure he sort of catches up with everything. And he does a little bit of stuff in the evening sometimes, but he's relaxed. And then I'm sure that when he was doing 5 days a week, he was probably only doing 3 days work because he was so stressed. He was probably flapping and not doing, and not sleeping, and not refreshed, overwhelmed, you know, that sort of thing. So I think he's probably much more productive doing less hours. Just pity he's not paid for the work he produces rather than the time he puts in, but it doesn't really matter. The fact that he is better, although he got a bit stressed this morning because he was trying to pay for his medication, his next set of medication, and he had to put in the password and it wasn't working, and he was getting really worried that he explained to me he gets really worried that the bank's going to lock him out of his account because he's put the wrong password in too many times, and that he won't be able to get hold of his money and he won't have any money. And that's really interesting. I didn't ever know after 23.5 years of marriage that he was that worried about money in the sense of having access to it, because I'm like, well, you've got a bit of cash in your wallet, you've got a debit card, I've got a credit card, the boys have even got cards, you know, you could manage for a few days or whatever if you locked out your account. You know, it's normally just a quick phone call to the bank, and if there wasn't time that morning, could have done it in the evening, or, you know, it didn't seem that important to me. And obviously I realised that we all stress about very different things. And so now I have a better understanding of why he was so cross. But it's good because he didn't used to be able to explain to me why he was cross about something, because he would be just so cross that he was just couldn't speak in the end. You know, the emotion was just too much. And now he's getting better at explaining that. And so now I have an understanding. It's much, much better. Right, we have done the next lot of, we've done the leaves, I mean. Now the flowers. Now I didn't know whether to, I'm just going to grab 11 and do the centres while I talk about the petals. I can do all the centres the same, and I'm going to keep them really plain. Now I wasn't sure whether to do all the flowers different colours or all the same colour. You know, would it be nice to have a sort of rainbow colour flowers around the edge? Or should we just keep it to one? or maybe lots of shades of the same colour, you know, say all blues or pinks or reds or something. I'm going to have a think while and talk and think. Now, I don't want anything that's going to sort of be too similar to anything that's touching this edge. So we've got probably sky here and we've got water here. So probably doing, I want to avoid a sky blue. That doesn't mean I have to avoid all blues, just a sort of sky blue. I want to avoid the sort of watery greeny colour like the probably phthalo greens, something like that. So I want to avoid that. We have some flowers quite close to the edges here, which we don't want to have the same colour as the ones next to them probably. But that doesn't, if we're mixing it up, it won't really matter. So those are the sort of things I'm thinking of at the moment. I think having lots of bright colours could be quite cute. I don't tend to do that. I tend to just stick with a really limited palette, so I think it would test me. So I think what I'm going to do, and is it going to be random or is it going to be a pattern? I'm going to grab a selection of colours. I've got the violet, 6. I'm going to grab the 29, which is a sort of ready carmine. A pink, let's go for 21. We need an orange. Let's go for 4. I don't think we need a yellow, the centres are yellow. We do need a blue. Let's go for something that definitely isn't a sky blue. So we'll go for a really dark blue, like that. What are we missing? It looks a bit, let's go for a lighter blue, this one. What else can we do? We could do a darker red. Could do a darker lilac, that one won't show up. We've got lots of browns and greys and greens, we don't want those. Yeah, let's do this blue. Okay, so there is our mix of colours. I will think that what I'm going to do is grab this one. This is 27. I'm just going to start, and I think rather than trying to do them one then the other, I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, got 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to just roughly do them sort of 8 apart, but some of them I won't, like this one. And then some of them I'll do a bit more. And I'm just gonna try to make it so that it's a bit random. I think it's much quicker to do it this way and a bit more fun. Oh, I've missed a couple of leaves there, you've probably noticed. I'm gonna grab my pencil and just my 52, and just colour those in. There we go. Okay, let's leave a big gap with it now. I quite like white flowers. One day I'll learn how to do them and I'll show you. I did request, now we're going to go for this blue, this is the 37. I did request to Helen Elliston that she put white flowers in her new book. She still hasn't finished it yet. I thought she was close. When she was talking about it once, she gave me the impression that she was really close to finishing, but still nothing yet. But I know she's probably a perfectionist and wants to get it all perfect, and there's nothing wrong with that. But she did say she was doing the cover soon, so I assume that means she knows what's inside. That's really exciting. For those of you that don't know, Helen Elliston does book series called what's it called? Colorist Special Effects, I think. And they're all sort of techniques on colouring different things. She mainly uses Prismacolor, I've noticed in her later books, and she does things like there's snow, various flowers, food, backgrounds, sort of oily metals and things, rainbows and things like that. I'm going to go orange next, number 4. Then she has, trying to think, yes, skin tone, hair, gemstones, metals, you know, all really very, very useful type things and explained really well. But when her new book comes out, I will grab it because I think they're great, and I will do a flip through to show you what it's like. I did that with her last book. I checked with her and she was happy for me to do that, so I'm sure she'll be happy again. This is number 339. So, and also I've done a video from one of her books demonstrating using her techniques, and I checked with her again for that because, you know, and she was happy for me to do it, so that was good. So I might do that as well. I will check with her again though. I think a flip through is okay because it's a sort of you can't really pause and get a good enough look at the page and see what to do without buying the book. It's sort of a good advert, isn't it? But I think doing a demo is a bit more like, if it's the only one you wanted from the book and I do it, then you won't need to buy it type thing. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough space on this page to use all the pencils that I selected, but we'll see. We'll miss out some of the blues if that's the case. I do want this pink, number 21. You can use your favourite colours. You have to use the ones I picked. You can, yeah, do whatever you want. I'm trying to fill in the gaps a bit now. Anyway, there's 2 spaces. I've put a bit of pink in. And I think our next colour might be our last one. So as I say, I think I misjudged on how many I would need. So I've got to decide. I'm not going to use the red or the blue. I might use the violet, though it might look a bit too bluey. Have a think. Because I think the sort of dark pink we've used looks very reddish. It's probably tricky for you to see. So we'll see. So no, I'm not using that red. I'm going to put that back. So I picked the sort of cornflower bluey type, light purpley colour, or the dark violet. I'm going to use that one. This is the 330. It's like it is a blue, but it's powder blue. It looks quite purpley. So I think it'll work nicely. Now the water is going to be quite tricky. I'm wondering whether to do it in a pastel rather than a pencil. But I think I'll get some of the other details done before I make up my mind about that. It can be easier to, you know, do more on the page first and then think about that sort of detail after. If there's a bit you're not sure of, don't know what colour you're going to do it, that's the way to do really. Oh, just found another leaf I didn't colour. Sorry for my arm stretching across. Should reuse my other arm. I will make sure, excuse me, I've got hiccups, before I finish that we've done all of them. because once I put my pencils away, I forget what I used. I will write it down and put it in the description. I always do that for you. I don't know if you probably notice that I not only write in the description what materials I've used in the video with my affiliate links so that you can buy them if you wish to, but also which colours of pencils I've used so that you can gather them before you watch, if that's something that you want to do, or gather them before you colour along. I remember when I was first watching Chris Cheng, and she used to do that, and I found it really useful. She doesn't do it anymore. Anyway, I'm confused. Oh, I know what I've done. Okay, that is our border done, and that's taken quite a long time, and I've nattered on for ages, and so I'm going to make that do for today, because I was planning on making this quite a several part video, and I think just suddenly starting something else is going to be a bit odd, so I'm just going to wait, and we'll deal with either flowers or leaves or gnome and boat tomorrow. So for now, thank you for watching. Hope you have a very lovely day, colourful and bright, and happy colouring.